Hello, and welcome to Mr. Marr's 3-Minute History. Quick summaries about a range of different history topics. Today we're going back to a famous time in Nazi Germany and around the era of the Second World War, known as the Kindertransports. This was a period in time when many Jewish children were taken away from Nazi-occupied areas to places in Britain to keep them safe from Nazi persecution. Before we look at the Kindertransports themselves, it's important to understand the experience of Jewish people in Nazi Germany. After the Nazis gained power in Germany in 1933, they set about introducing a series of rules and laws which persecuted and attacked Jewish people. This included Jewish people being banned from working in certain jobs, being physically attacked in the streets, told they could no longer have relationships with non-Jewish people, and even having their citizenship rights removed in Germany. The violence that was involved in attacks on Jewish people was growing, and famously in November 1938, an event known as Kristallnacht saw mass killings and attackings and destruction of Jewish property all across the country. After the events of Kristallnacht, governments around Europe began to realise there was a huge problem facing Jewish people, and the British government agreed to introduce a scheme that would become known as the Kindertransports. This involved the organisation and removal of Jewish children from various countries in Nazi-occupied Europe, including Germany, Austria, Czechoslovakia and Poland. These children, who were ages between 5 and 17, would be brought to Britain to live, and in total around 10,000 made the journey. This was a huge job to organise. Not only did it involve organising the children themselves and their transport, which would include boat travel and train as well, but homes had to be found for the Jewish children once they were brought over to Britain, and they were required to have a sponsor to look after them during this time. The children's experiences could be very difficult, although it could vary depending on issues such as the age they were when they made the journey, and also where they were kept in terms of accommodation. Some lived in people's homes, others stayed in hostels when they came to Britain. It was obviously a very upsetting time. The children were being taken away from their parents, and although they were told that they would soon see their parents again, this almost never happened. They had mixed experiences once they were in Britain. In many cases they had a very positive experience, getting on well with the people who were looking after them and many of the people they met. At other times, though, they could be treated almost as enemies, given that many of them were in fact German, and this was during the time of World War II. Many of them also didn't speak English, and so found problems to do with language barriers. After the Second World War came to an end, there was again mixed experiences. Some of the children, admittedly more grown up now, chose to settle in Britain and would live the rest of their lives here. Others, in fact, returned to their homes in Europe, including in Germany, and others still made the journey to other places such as the United States. Undeniably, the most upsetting thing after the war was when they went looking for their parents. Almost all the children who were involved in the Kindertransports found that their parents had been killed in various concentration camps across Europe. Those young people, though, did grow up to go and have positive lives, albeit escaping a huge level of sadness. They became politicians, scientists, artists and journalists, and were able to build a brand new life for themselves.